Hello dear students, bonjour and welcome to this session where we will understand about French adjectives and their usage. So we will start off with the definition of adjectives. Adjectives describe the qualities and characteristics of a noun. Some of the commonly used French adjectives, as you can see in the image, are intellectuel, which means academically good, then jolie, which means pretty, and bavard, which means talkative. Now moving on, now we will understand next topic, which is agreement of adjectives. In French language, adjectives agree with the number and gender of the noun that they qualify. By number I mean whether it is singular or plural, and by gender we mean whether it is masculine or feminine. Now let us learn few rules how to make an adjective feminine. Now, rule number 1 states that to make an adjective feminine, usually E is added to the masculine form. For example, if you have a close look at the table, two examples are given. One is masculine column and then is feminine singular column. In masculine column, the two examples here are petit, and in feminine, if you can see the spelling, an E is added to the masculine formation. Then second example is court, and the feminine singular column you can see it's court. Now the second rule states that the adjectives remain same in the feminine form if its masculine form is already ending in E. For example, if we have a look at this table, again there are two columns, masculine singular and feminine singular. Three examples are given here: difficile, jeune, and mons. Difficile means difficult, jeune means young, and mons means thin or slim. Now as you can see, there is no change in spelling in both the columns. They remain the same as the masculine formation is ending in E, so same is with the feminine singular column. Moving on, third rule states that the adjectives ending in EAU in the masculine form change to ELLE in the feminine. Now observing this table, you can clearly see there are two examples: beau, which changes to belle in feminine form, which means beautiful, and second example is nouveau, which changes to nouvelle, which means new. And last rule, which states that some irregular adjectives are made feminine by doubling the final consonant and adding an E. Now if we have a look at the examples here of the fourth rule, there are four examples here. Bon, as you can see in the feminine singular column, N is doubled and E is added. Similarly with three other examples, as you can see, ancien, gros, and gentil. Bon means good, ancien means old, gros means thick or fat, and gentil means gentle or kind. Now let us understand our next topic for today, which is plural of adjectives. There are some rules relevant to making an adjective plural. We will understand one by one. The first rule states that normally we make an adjective plural by adding an S. Now if you have a look at the example, there are two columns, singular and plural, and three examples are given here. First is mons, which means slim. Second is grand, which means big or tall, and last one is bon, which means good. Now as you can see in plural column, an S is added in the end, which is the underlined S. So to change adjective into plural, simply add an S. That's what rule 1 states. Rule 3. Now rule 3 states that formation of plural by adding an X to the adjective which is ending in EAU. So if an adjective in singular is ending in EAU, we can change it into plural form by just adding an X. For example, there are two columns here, singular and plural, along with two examples. First example is beau. Now if you see its plural form, it's just X is added in the end, which is underlined. Now the second example is nouveau, and again as you can observe in the plural column, X is added at the end to change it from singular to plural. Now the only exception apart from these three rules which we have just studied is a word vieux, which means old in French. There are 5 columns relevant to this word. You can observe the changes in each of the column. In masculine singular, you can have a look at the spelling. It's V-I-E-U-X, and the pronunciation is wir. Then in the masculine singular, along if the following word starts with a vowel or silent H, it's V-I-E-I-L, with the pronunciation is V-I. And the third column, which is the masculine plural, again as you can see, it is the same as masculine singular column. It's the same spelling, V-I-E-U-X, and the pronunciation is wir. Next column, feminine singular, as you can observe the difference, there is the spelling is V-I-E-I-L-L-E, and the pronunciation is V-I. And last but not the least, feminine plural column, in which S is added in the end. So the pronunciation remains the same, VI, but S is added in the end to change it into plural form. Now we will have a quick recap about what we learned today. We learned the adjectives and their definition. Second, we learned how to make an adjective from masculine to feminine. And last but not the least, we understood various rules how to make an adjective plural. Well, this brings us to the end of this session. Hope you have understood everything. If not, go through this video again and again, revise it thoroughly. I will see you soon. Till then, au revoir.